Hi gang, it's Hexy here. So we're getting ready to get this thing started here. And this is, once again, this is Revolution Games, Counterattack, the Battle of Arras, 1940. So this would be the French counterattack against the blitzing spearheads. It's Guderian or Rommel. I know Rommel's, and there's Rommel right there. There's ice from the SS. I don't know what other headquarters units they got in here. So this is Rommel's spearhead, where the Allies are going to try to, the Brits and I guess the French armor are going to try to smack into the side of this thing and cut it in half. But this is going to be the first area movement game that I've played. I've played a point-to-point game. Now I'm going to play an area movement game. And like I say, this one was bought for me for my birthday, so I'm going to give this thing a quick shot. It's got a small footprint. It's about 10, 11 pages of rules. And I wanted to get out, at least get the victory conditions out. All right, so here's Arras. All right, all of these are French-controlled zones, areas, and the things around the edges are zones. So anything in blue, the light blue, is French-controlled. Anything in gray is German. And then you got a split one up top there, which starts the game controlled by the Allies. Now, the Germans cannot move into the Allied zones or areas. I got to remember to keep that. I got to. They're on the defensive in this one, and I think it's the zones. They can't move into the Allied zones. All right, it doesn't matter. The Allies are going to be the ones on the attack here. So the victory conditions are: you have two automatic victory conditions for the Allies. He wins an automatic victory if during the end phase of any turn, an Allied control zone A, Cambrai, which is, Cambrai is down here, all right? This is A, this is a zone, okay? Or zone B, which is right here next to it, Bapaume. Yeah, I'm sure I got that right, Bapaume, all right? Is capable of tracing a path of contiguous Allied controlled areas linking to zone E lens, which is all the way up yonder there at the top of the map. All right, zone E's up there. So if the Allies take one of these two zones and they have a contiguous path of controlled areas all the way up to zone E, that's an Allied automatic victory. Zone A or B must be free of German units to qualify for automatic victory. So in this game, you can have units from both sides. Matter of fact, if you're going to do combat with infantry or armor or whatever, they're going to be in the same area when they do it. Okay. All right. Germans. The German player wins an automatic victory if during the end phase of any turn, all right, the German player controls Area 25, Arras, all right, and the Allied player does not control at least two areas south of the Scarpe River. So there's the river, all right? So the Germans control this, and there are no controlled areas by the Allies south of that river. Boy, that sounds like that could be a tough one. Because, you know, the Allies they start the game, they get the initial impulse, or the initial activation. So, all right, this game has an interesting rule. When units get eliminated, they go into the eliminated box, unless they're overrun. During the reorganization phase, you can go over to the eliminated box, and let's say it's the Brits, and you want to replace an infantry unit. You take one from the eliminated box and you put it back in play on its fresh side. But then you have to take a matching unit in the eliminated box and completely remove it from play. So I guess that accounts for your replacements, and at the same time it accounts for your losses that can't be replaced. So I think that this will be a first for me. I mean, I played games where you have replacements, stuff like, you know, OCS and EFS and stuff like that has that. But this one's going to be interesting because of that system's just a little bit tweaked. I think that's going to work out pretty good. You have the leaders in here. The leader replacement rule, or returning them to play, is a little different. I'm not going to get into that one right now. You also have the operational victory where there's points, victory points for controlled places at the end of the game. So just like a lot of games nowadays, you get automatic victory chances at any time during any turn at the end phase. And then if not, at the end of the game, you have a victory point determination, which you calculate on a chart that's sitting over there. All right. Now, this game also does not have it has no tables. Everything's on the map right there. There is no combat results table. You have advantage markers. You have a reroll marker, which you can use at any time, once per turn. And then you have the advantage marker. Whoever has the advantage, it's on the turn track marker. Whoever has the advantage, they have options they can use, like they can force a reroll or they can reset the impulse track to start, the impulse phase. Now, of course, there's penalties and there's plus and everything, and as those happen, I'll try to explain those as they go. And, the game is only made up of 4 sequences, 4 steps: momentum phase, combat phase, reorganization, and then end phase. And then you start the thing all over again. So units can move in the off-board zones. They can move across. They can move on. If they move from one to the other, it takes all their movement. If they move on, they can so if it's one to move here, they can continue their move. All right. You attack in the area. So units can move into the area and then attack. However, if you move a unit in and you make the attack, once the area has been attacked, no other units can move in. So you got to do so like if you activate this area and you're going to attack in here, you might want to move everything in there to do the attack. All right. So you got to think about that, because like I say, once you attack it, nothing else can move in there. Now, if there's units already in there and he moves into attack, but this guy doesn't, he can actually move. He can move away. All right. So you got to keep that stuff in mind. And like I say, I'll have to address these as I go. I'm sure I'm going to boo-boo this. There's not a whole boatload of rules, but it's got enough detail, I think, to make this interesting. So, all right, so we're going to try to get after this, and hopefully through playing through the first or second turn, I'll get a better grasp of how this works. Victory points are scored by the allies, not by the Axis. And, again, a lot of games like that today seem to take that format. And to me, it's a lot easier to just track one, plus or minus, and see where you stand. So, all right, so let's get this thing underway. We'll get this posted as our pre-game show. And once again, this is Counterattack, the Battle of Arras 1940 from game designer Mike Ranella, Take Aim Designs, and it's published by Revolution Games. Oh, yeah, Charles Kibler did the artwork, and I love the map. This is a gorgeous map. All right, this is Hexy. I'm going to get after this. Talk to you soon.